What is going on, everyone? What is going on? What is going on? What is going on, man? Welcome to another episode of What's Going On Wednesdays. I'm Arrington JJ.
And I'm Jonathan Jones.
Thank you for tuning in to a great show. Okay, so this episode is real special, JJ, because we're going into Diabetes Awareness Month, the month of November. So guys, normally we like to keep it with current events, sports, a lot of humor, but we want to inform you guys and ladies as well, just on the awareness of diabetes, people that live through it, some tips that can help prevent it. We have guests, guys. We have we have guests. Hollywood, look out. But we have guests, guys. I'm so honored to have Michele Matthews and as our first guest, who is a fitness expert, health coach, nutritionist, speaker, author. I got more. Bodybuilder. I think I'm gonna fix it, but it's okay. She's an all-around just amazing woman, and we're gonna be going on talking about diabetes awareness. We're gonna have Miss Michele Matthews, and we're gonna be asking her some pretty important questions on what can we do to prevent, and for people that live with the diabetes, things like that. So, JJ, you ready?
I'm ready.
You ready? All right, well, let's get started. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Michele Matthews. So, Michele, we're so honored to have you here. Can you please share with our audience, a little bit about yourself and your story and how you got into health and wellness?
I am Michele Matthews. Thank you, Arrington, for having me today. And as he had stated, I am a certified fitness trainer and fitness nutrition specialist. I started in fitness probably just 10 years ago. I started out as a runner and wanted a little bit something more, so I started to lift weights, became a professional figure competitor, and then got my certification as a trainer and fitness nutrition expert. And what got me into wellness, if I'm being perfectly honest, is, and I don't know if this sounds corny, but I did it for my kids. My father passed back in 2011, and it was a long process. And during that process, I watched my mother put her entire life on hold to take care of him. And I'm a single woman. I have 2 children, and I honestly did not want my children to have to put their lives on hold to take care of me. So I figured if there was something that I could do to prevent getting sick and to make sure that I could be as independent as possible for as long as possible, then that's what I was going to do. So that's my story. That's why I got involved in fitness.
Now, Michele, what are some suggested diet tips we could use to prevent from getting diabetes? And if we have it, what can we do to maintain a healthy lifestyle?
I'm so glad that you asked this question. One of the things that I like to say to people is that fitness is not rocket science. It's really about common sense. As far as diet tips are concerned, the thing that you want to, if we're dealing with diabetes, the first thing that we want to do is cut out refined sugars and processed foods. We want to reduce the amount of red meat that we eat. We want to stick to whole foods, whole grains, green vegetables. If you don't see a commercial for it on TV, then that's the thing that you want to eat. When you go into the grocery store, shop the perimeter where your produce is, your fresh vegetables, your meat and poultry. Stay out of the aisles as much as you can because that's where all the processed things are. It really just comes down to common sense. And I know that I say that, but a lot of us weren't raised that way. A lot of us, I know that for me, we had fried chicken every week, so we weren't raised that way. But it's just a matter of relearning and rethinking, and it's never too late to start.
Michele, as a fitness expert, can you stress how important exercise is to a person, especially somebody with diabetes?
Exercise has to be so important, okay? Nutrition is the number one thing, but exercise is definitely a close second. And I know that people who aren't used to exercising, they sort of get nervous and they make it out to be something bigger than it actually is. And it doesn't have to be that big a deal. If you're not used to exercising, you can start out so simply, baby steps, one step at a time. For example, the basic exercise prescription that I would suggest is make sure that you're doing some sort of cardiovascular exercise every day. And it doesn't have to be running or anything too strenuous. You can get up and do 10 jumping jacks, and that's your cardio. But just make sure that you get something in every single day. In addition to your cardiovascular exercise, you should also try and get some sort of strength training in. And that doesn't mean buying an expensive gym membership or even hiring a trainer. If you get up and do some push-ups, if you have to do them modified, you do what you can. You start where you are so you don't get discouraged. Just start where you are, but the most important thing is to start.
So are there different protocols for different age groups when it comes to preventing diabetes? So for people in their 20s, is it something different, say if you're in your mid to late 40s or even early 50s?
To that I say absolutely not. People should start where they're comfortable, no matter what their age is. From my own personal experience, like I said, I didn't start my fitness journey until 10 years ago when I was 46. And I got in the gym and I did what I could do, and I worked up to a level where I was standing toe-to-toe with women who were half my age. So there are not different protocols for different age groups. You start where you are, where you're comfortable, and progress from there. When people say that they're too old to do something, I stop them right in their tracks, because I'm 56, okay? And I am convinced that there is absolutely nothing that I cannot do because of my age, okay? Don't let your age stop you. It is never too late to start. You are never too young to start. You're never too old to start. So no, there are no differences because of age.
Thank you again, Michele Matthews, my good friend. So good to see you and just the great things that you're doing. I hope you all were very informed on the tips that Ms. Matthews had provided for all of us. Now, Michele, how can our viewers get in touch with you with your great work?
Arrington, thank you so much for having me. This was really a great pleasure. It always is a thrill for me to be able to share information with people. And if anyone needs any further information, you can always find me on my website, which is michelematthews.com. If anyone wants to reach me directly with any specific questions concerning anything that we discussed today, you can always shoot me an email at coaching@michelematthews.com. Thanks again.
Now we are on to our next and final guest. Now this man has an amazing story he's going to be sharing with you, and I'm proud to have him here. His name is Mr. Donnell Britt. He's a user of our Beard Care Revolution Beard Care, but he's also changing his ways and living more of a healthier life after being diagnosed with diabetes. So he's here to share his story and just informing you on more things to do with diabetes. So, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Donnell Britt.
Donnell, when did you first find out that you were diagnosed with diabetes?
I actually was diagnosed in 2016. I was out processing for the Army, and I had to take all the tests, when you're getting out of the military, and they came back and said that I had type 2 diabetes, and I was shocked. I couldn't believe it, but I also went on a 4-year deniability, or for 4 years I denied that I had it. I didn't have it, and at that point I was smaller. I was lifting weights. I was in great shape, but I went into denial and I actually started eating more, which made zero sense. But I think as a man, I was hoping every day that I wasn't going to have it, but my health started to deteriorate every year from there on for those 4 years.
So Donnell, what do you think that were main causes that probably had led to diabetes? If you wouldn't mind sharing with our audience.
Well, diabetes does run in my family, but I was a sugar guy, since a little kid. My grandmother used to have the donuts at the house, or I used to wake up in the middle of the night from when I was young all the way until just recently, just 3 months ago, when I would eat candy and cookies in the middle of the night, and I wasn't sleepwalking, but I knew exactly what I wanted to do, and I think it was the unhealthy eating, mostly of the candy and the snack cakes, and definitely sugar of the soda. I used to love Mountain Dew and all those type of things, so I believe the number one trigger for me was more, the candy, Reese's Cups and potato chips, all the carbohydrates that was bad for my body.
So Donnell, how has the adjustment been with living with diabetes now, and what was your biggest, challenge? Like, what was like the big switch? What was the main thing for you that was just like a struggle?
So, 3 months ago, I was headed to Vegas, and I was ready to have a good time, just like everybody else when you headed out to Vegas. And I hopped off the plane, and as I was going to the escalator, I had an issue. Kind of like when you turn the lights off in your house, how you have the little dimmer or whatever, my brain started to dim. The next thing I know, I was laying on the ground. I could hear my wife saying, "Get up." She said I had passed out. I had no idea, of course. At that point, there was a lot of people around me. And long story short, I ended up in ICU for a whole week. I was literally on my deathbed because of diabetes. At that point, when I was laying in the bed, I told myself in a conversation with God that if I could get out of there, I would change the way I eat. I would change everything. So it's been a struggle, but for me, I think it's more of a situation where I know I have to do this to live. I had blood clots in my lung and in my legs, and it's only by the grace of God that I was here, because they can't believe that I was even walking around like that. Without that, I wouldn't have never stopped eating the way I was eating. But when I was laying, and when I had the surgery, they put 2 stents down my neck to blow the blood clots out, and I was of course alive, but I was awake. And that was probably the scariest I've ever been in my life. And with COVID, your significant other can't be in the hospital. And I had to tell my wife on the phone, let her listen to the doctor say all the complications that could happen from the surgery. I could have bled out. I could have died right there. And to know that my life was going to end, or could have ended at that point just because of what I'm eating or how I eat, I couldn't let that continue to go on. I felt like that God spared my life. He wanted to give me a signal. It was a loud and clear signal. So for the last 3 months, I have not had any sugar. I have completely changed the way I eat. And I think it is a struggle, but I just think back to that day that I was laying in the hospital, and I keep going.
So besides the sugars, like the candy and the soda and chips and stuff, what other daily changes to your lifestyle have you had to make?
So 2 main things. The first one is I fast. I fast 16/8. It's called an intermittent fast. I do that daily, most days, but daily, probably other than Sunday. So that's where I really don't eat for 16 hours straight, and then I can eat all the protein and mixed vegetables and all that I can in that 8-hour period. So I normally don't even start eating until like 2 o'clock. Because it's easier to fast when you sleep. So I kind of take into account some of that. And the other part of it is just trying to stay active, walking daily. With me taking blood thinners because of the situation with me and being in the ICU, I can't run, or they advise me not to run because, of course, if I fall or if I stumble and I start to bleed, I could bleed out. So I try to walk, but I mainly try to stay real active. And just watch what I eat. I try to stay under 30 carbs total a day. And it's a challenge, but again, that's what you have to do to start. And it's called a way of eating. And I want to come out with a cookbook that inspires people. And a lot of guys that's going through the same thing I'm going through, because I know a lot of people that are diabetic. They follow me through social media, but nobody's really taking it all the way serious. And I believe that they're using insulin and the drugs and everything else to give you a false sense of hope, because you can shoot yourself with insulin and your numbers can be down, so you feel like you can go eat what you want, but you're still having damage to those organs. And until we understand that your organs are still being damaged, eventually when you lose a toe, you lose a finger, you can lose an arm, and you can lose a foot, and you might wake up one day and you in the ICU or have a stroke. So mainly trying to stay active and fasting.
Man, that is awesome. That is just Donnell, what are some of the best advice you can give someone right now living with diabetes?
I think the main thing for me is just understand that it's no cure. We can only hope for remission when we're talking about diabetes. You have to completely change the way that you eat, and you can't cheat, because one cheat day just because you felt like you ate good all week. I just don't agree with it. I don't believe that you should do yourself like that. Change the way that you eat. Figure out how to eat sugar-free. Find out those meals. It's ways to create all the meals that you like, but a bit healthier. Get rid of the rice and put some cauliflower rice. It's a lot of different ways. Look out there for some recipes and stuff that you can take care of your body. But my advice is also do not be in denial. I think that's the biggest thing that we do is we kind of act like we don't have diabetes. And I'm gonna give you a real quick story. Me and my wife was eating dinner the other day, and it was time for dessert. And I always just say, no, I don't want any. But the guy kind of pressured me, and I said, I can't have that because I have diabetes. And it actually, I didn't want to cry, but it made me sad to a certain extent, because it was really the first time I'm really letting a person know that I have diabetes. I used to be scared to tell a person that I was diabetic. For whatever reason, I don't know, it's a stigma, I guess. But now I let everybody know I have diabetes, but I'm gonna beat it. I'm gonna beat it my way, and I just believe that everybody can do the same thing if you really start to take your health to account for your own health, really. And you need a support system. Without my wife helping me, sometimes eating the same way I eat, helping me cooking the meals that I need, and just supporting me, I probably would still be eating the wrong way. But without a support system and then making your mind up that you want to change. So please do that. Don't be in denial and take care of your body.
Well, everyone, I hope you enjoyed that episode of What's Going On Wednesday. Again, this was made to be informative, and I hope you all learned a lot from our professionals today. I want to thank Michele Matthews on giving all those great tips on living a healthy and fitness lifestyle. Also, Mr. Donnell Britt. Man, JJ, what an amazing story. That's all. That's an awesome dude right there. I hope you all learned. I know we've learned a lot. And again, just be aware of, Diabetes Awareness Month. I hope if you know someone that goes through diabetes, please show this episode to them. Share it with all your friends. Again, tune in every Wednesday to What's Going On Wednesdays. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Rugged Evo TV. Take care. Oh, and by the way, for all you great beard supporters out there, we're not going to leave you hanging. Be sure to check out Rugged Evolution Beard Care. For more information, go to ruggedevo.com. Take care, and remember, Rugged is the new Snoop.